There is a problem that has been swept under the carpet for too long: menstrual equity. It's a global problem but exacerbated in countries like Sri Lanka, where culturally there is a stigma. Basically, menstruating women and girls are ostracized from basic activities. They lack access to sanitary products, clean water for sanitary purposes, and even hygiene education. There is a huge problem as it impacts reproductive health and is a fundamental issue of human rights, dignity, and public health. There have been some initiatives in Sri Lanka to tackle the issue. Celine's reusable pads, the Women's Chamber's Women Prisoners Initiative to manufacture sanitary pads, Malcha Kumaranatunga's Free to Flow, which distributes reusable sanitary napkins to low-income households. And today, on Selinko Life Let's Talk, is Francesca Mudannayake, who steers marketing and communications for the Arka initiative, and whose project, Aditi, has placed a sanitary pad making machine for the community of Matugama. It's a women-led project providing employment for the local community and organically reducing period poverty and combating stigmas surrounding reproductive health. So welcome, Francesca, to Prime Group Kaleidoscope, Selinko Life Let's Talk. Poverty plays a massive role in women's physical well-being. And if you look at the issue of menstrual equity, what are the most common challenges that women and girls face, especially in these lower income communities?
So the greatest challenge is unaffordability, and overwhelming majority of women in Sri Lanka do not use pads or tampons. When Arka was conducting studies, a lot of women we spoke to could only afford muslin cloth, which is not hygienic and can lead to reproductive tract infections or urinary tract infections. So as a result, schoolgirls have no period products to wear, or they're scared of leaking if they wear cloths. So they tend to stay at home, and that means they fall behind their education, they miss out on extracurriculars, and this means that it can affect their work opportunities further down the line.
While these are natural consequences to growing up and development, culturally, communities are not very open to discussion on these topics. Now, as a result, what are the long-lasting impacts women and girls face when it comes to their sexual and reproductive health?
Whatever social strata you belong to, there is a culture of shame that surrounds talking about sexual health. And the effects of this are dangerous because the use of contraception decreases, because people aren't aware that such methods are available, or there are misconceptions surrounding it. This can obviously lead to unwanted pregnancies, which in turn leads to abortion. Furthermore, there's a lack of awareness around STDs and STIs, which means people are less likely to get tested, and they may have infections, which leads to serious problems down the line, such as infertility issues.
So have you been able to change the mindset of girls and women? What about the community?
Our aims when it comes to this project is to make the most affordable sanitary pad on the market, and we're costing it at 9 rupees a pad to ensure it's not an unnecessary expense and people who bleed can afford to invest in better menstrual products.
Briefly, do you have plans to expand this project?
Yes, definitely. We are looking at producing pad machines and implementing it nationwide. But this is our pilot project, actually, just to see how it works and what we need to improve on. However, it is a very costly process, so we are humbly asking for contributions and funding at this current moment. So if anybody would like to donate, they can get in touch with us via our social media or our website.
In the context of sexual and reproductive health, there are free services available via public health clinics to anyone, really. What are these services?
There are multiple free services available island-wide. There is just a lack of awareness about these services. There are MOH clinics in every district in the country, and they administer contraception and run clinics that screen for cervical and breast cancer. There are also more than 30 STD clinics island-wide, which offer free testing for STDs as well as preventative education. Additionally, the Family Planning Association in Sri Lanka has service centers island-wide, and they offer sexual and reproductive health services for either free or for a subsidized cost.
So thank you very much, Francesca, for joining us today and actually shedding some light on the issues of sexual and reproductive health and menstrual equity. The subject shouldn't be taboo. It is one that needs dialogue, one that needs discussion, because it impacts the entire community, not just girls and women. If they are impacted, that means the entire community, the nation, needs to take note. So time to press the like sign on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn if you liked our program today. Subscribe too if you haven't already, and follow us on all these sites.
World of risks and obstacles, we are there to help you reach your goals. With 12 billion rupees worth of customer benefits in 2020 and a life insurance fund worth over 100 billion rupees. Our strength is your strength. You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Zelenko Life.